Good afternoon, everybody. I am Don Lofi, Westminster College's Interim President and Chief Transformational Officer. And on behalf of the college and Jim Morton, our Board of Trustees Chair, we welcome Westminster students, faculty, staff, and distinguished guests, including members of the Davidson family, Board of Trustees members Bill Daniels and Brock Ayers, and recently retired Westminster College President Dr. Fletcher Lampkin. And welcome to all of those who could not be present with us today, but are watching our live stream or participating via Zoom, including alumni William Reller and Mark Rui, who have made this special day possible through their generous donations to complete the refurbishment of the fountain and the Plaza area. We are gathered together on this beautiful fall day on the Westminster campus for a wonderful celebration of our history, our students, faculty, and staff, and our devoted alumni. We celebrate this structure before you, the Davidson Leadership Plaza, which for nearly 20 years has stood here on what we at Westminster fondly refer to as the Hill. The Davidson Leadership Plaza was first conceptualized in the late 1990s by our Board of Trustees as a permanent monument to celebrate Westminster's 150th anniversary. A significant fundraising campaign brought more than 50 generous donors together in support of this most special endeavor. Originally dedicated on October 6, 2001, the Plaza formally celebrates many elements of our campus. Specifically, it is a monument to the enduring history of our premier liberal arts education, which sends graduates out into the world after they pass through our columns, armed with a purpose as leaders who are educated to achieve lives of success, significance, and service. This plaza also commemorates the life of its namesake, former President Dr. R.L.D., or Larry, Davidson, as he's been affectionately referred to. It should also be noted that Mr. Reller and others were instrumental in recommending the plaza be named after Dr. Davidson. And Dr. Davidson served Westminster College as president from 1955 to 1973 and is fondly remembered here in many different ways. To date, he is the individual with the longest tenure as president in the history of the college. He was responsible for bringing the college into a new era of vitality. During his presidency, a number of programs we have today were instituted, our athletic programs were developed more fully, and enrollment surged. In addition, major capital campaigns took place that saw the development of a number of new dormitories and other campus facilities, including the Sigma Chi House, Coulter Science Center, and Champ Auditorium. But these achievements pale in comparison to what Dr. Davidson is remembered for as a person. He was a man of extravagant ideas with a vision, who wouldn't take no for an answer. He was with a person with a dream of bringing the Church of St. Mary, stone by stone, to Fulton from London, England, as a memorial to Winston Churchill's Iron Curtain speech that was done on this campus in 1946. Dr. Davidson's vision for a campus, politely described by Churchill himself as an imaginative concept, was less cordially described by some at the time as Davidson's folly. But as it turns out, Dr. Davidson was a visionary. This afternoon again, our celebration of his leadership follows the 50th anniversary of the dedication of American National Churchill Museum, which took place in May of 2019. And Dr. Davidson might chuckle at us today standing before this plaza, which was dedicated in his name nearly 20 years ago. He also might appreciate what this plaza symbolizes and has gone through in recent years, with one of its focal points, the fountain, stopped running. Concept and folly, our fountain went through some of its own difficulties. Speculated this project, like the concept of America's National Churchill Museum, would not come to fruition. But it did, as Westminster has countless times, often as a result of alumni support and hard work by many. Today, through donations by two generous alumni, the Davidson Leadership Plaza has been restored to its original state. We again give special thanks this afternoon to alumnus William E. Reller, class of 1956 of Palo Alto, California, for his generous donations that made these structural improvements possible. We again also recognize alumnus Mark Rui, class of 1976, of McLean, Virginia, for his generous contribution. Incidentally, Mark is Dr. Davis's nephew, and we are delighted he can join us and be with us today via live stream. We'd also like to give special mention to sculptor Charles Strain of Harrisburg, Missouri, who designed and created a focal point of the plaza, the bronze sculpture named Flight of Leadership. The contractors were instrumental in bringing the fountain back to life, cannot be forgotten. Thank you to Josh Glover, Jake Long, Steve Welder from GloveCon Construction, as well as Richard Teal from Teal Mechanical. We'd also like to recognize the college's plant operations personnel, headed by Jack Benke, who is with us today and has worked with our contractors and his plant operations team throughout this entire project, bringing us to this celebration today. And finally, we'd like to recognize Dr. Davis's family members. We are so pleased he could be with us this afternoon. In addition to Mark, who I mentioned earlier, Dr. Davidson's daughter, Cup, is here, along with her daughter Rebecca, Nolan, her husband Greg, their children, Ben Nolan. Roberta's nephew, C.R. Davidson, is also with us.
City of Fulton. Over the years, we've always had a great and it's crucial that we always work together. We just to us and the Churchill Museum, so that was fun to be a part of that. Today I'd like to just real briefly commend the college, not only Westminster College but William Woods, on the job they've done to prevent the spread of COVID. It's been a tough year on all of us, but it's obvious that the hardships and the protocols you put in place have made a huge difference, and we appreciate that. So on behalf of the City of Fulton, I thank you for that. I'm going to keep this brief. It's an honor to be here today, and on behalf of the City of Fulton, congratulations on your special day here. Thank you.
Plaza, and Dr. Davidson from Bill Reller, who couldn't be present here in person for the celebration but is joining us via live stream. And these are Bill's personal remarks, and so when I say I, I'm speaking on behalf of Bill, and I don't want to lose that sentiment as I read through his remarks. So good afternoon, everybody. I graduated from Westminster College in 1956, only 2 months into my 21st year. Young in so many ways, so many memories. One of those memories was Dr. Davidson handing me my diploma, looking me in the eye, and saying a few nice words. Perhaps he said something similar to the other 47 or so classmates, but I also wonder, I do. Over the years, Larry and I had many encounters. The first, a bit vicarious, with his assistance in supporting my admittance to the Graduate School of Business at Stanford University. I was a first lieutenant in Korea when I applied, but was turned down. Dr. Davidson and others supported my effort, and my life changed. I graduated from Stanford in 1960 and have lived in Palo Alto ever since, quite a remarkable community. Larry visited me in relationship to Westminster then. With rain pouring down, and we just talked. I needed advice, understanding, and a listening ear. While serving on the Board of Trustees, I made an effort to visit Larry and Lois at their Fulton home many times in the ensuing years. A glass of wine now and then, and maybe a word or two about stamp collecting. I was on a fly when Jack Marshall called me regarding Larry's unfortunate accident in 1998. Somehow, when I returned from the board meeting, and remembered well those who made a difference in your life. Dr. Davidson was there for me, because he always was there for Westminster College for many, many years. And I'm proud we are here to share in Dr. David's legacy. Thank you. Okay, I'd like now to present a new plaque that will be permanently recognized sculptor Charles Strain and donations from Mr. Reller and Mark Rui. Does Strain come forward, please? Is he here? Supposed to be? Oh, there he is. Yeah. Thank you very much. This will be the new plaque for the rededication, talking about the flight of leadership and explaining what this means. We want to thank you for that. This will be mounted in bronze, but we wanted to share this with you, and thank you for being here, and thank you for the lovely sculpture.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm hopefully not going to break these. I'm going to hold these up. We can show these to the group. So Roberta, we have one of these for your family and one for Charles. And we have several more that we've made up, but we have two, and they'll be up here for yourselves. But these show the Davidson Leadership Plaza, its dedication date originally in 2001, and the rededication today. So these will be for yourselves and also for Charles, and again, other guests. And Bill and Mark will have these sent to your home as well. So thank you. All right, Peyton, we'd like you to come forward and say a few words. Peyton is a sophomore at Westminster from Mexico, Missouri. So Peyton, you want to join us here, please?
Hi everyone, I'm Peyton. I'm a sophomore here at Westminster, like you said, but I just wanted to say a few words about how much I know this means to the Westminster community. By having the fountain redone, it has really brought life back onto campus, and I know a lot of students really appreciate it and find its beauty as well. And I also personally give tours to potential students and their families at Westminster, and on our routes, on our tours, we actually walk right through Leadership Plaza. And every time I'm always asked what it represents or why it's here, and every time I'm always so proud to talk about how it symbolizes the success here at Westminster and how meaningful it is to all of us. So because of our generous donors and all of you guys, it's possible that I get to talk about it every time. So thank you.
We're almost ready to conclude our ceremony, but I wanted to also take the time to just thank several members of the Westminster staff who have made incredible efforts to put all of the ceremony events together and wording and all the effort that's gone into this. And I'd like to recognize Christina and Sarah and Brandon and Chris and members of their team, Jenny, for all the effort, and Jack, again, to you and your team. Thank you very much for everything you did, and all our wonderful contractors. And thank you all for being a part of today, both in person and the live stream, for this very special celebration. And to the Davidson family, again, thank you for being here. It's quite an honor, and we hope you enjoyed this afternoon. And please feel free to stay around a little bit to enjoy the plaza. and we have some fresh refreshments provided by our food provider, Fresh Ideas. So this concludes our ceremonies, and thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Have a good afternoon.